Hey YouTube, this will be week 26 on the YouTube Pagan Challenge, and this topic is how do you meditate? And for me personally, it's a bit of a mix of things. I tend to lean towards guided meditations or meditational activities. Being a stay-at-home mom, it's a lot of just kind of thinking over topics while I'm folding laundry or doing dishes, because not only does that help me have some sort of meditative practice, but it also helps with those menial repetitive tasks. I would also even venture to say that the crochet and knitting and stuff that I do is a meditative practice as well. That doesn't mean it is every single time, but it definitely can be. I don't do the sort of what we've called Zen meditations, where it's the clearing your mind of all thoughts. I try and either just let my mind go in the direction that it wants to, or I will pick a particular topic and kind of have that inner dialogue going. Yeah, I made a meditation mat. It's a circular rainbow blanket, and I could totally grab it right now. But then I'd have to move. Let me see. Doing two videos back to back can mean that I don't collect all the things that I need for one of them. So, this is what I made as a chakra healing type of mat, just to lay on the floor, kind of a rug to sit in. It's a pretty decent diameter. I think it would also work really well as a personal circle space, although it's definitely not 9 feet. It's more like a 3 feet diameter. But if you were just going to sit there, it's a pattern called the Rings of Change, which this particular one is the mini version, and I didn't even finish the full size. I got to a spot where I knew I didn't have enough of the colors to finish another section of rainbow, because the further you out you get in a circle, the more yarn it takes. And that was all thrifted and yarn that I had on hand, so when I finally had the rainbow colors, I knew exactly what I was doing with that. That being said, I have it, and I haven't made a space to actually utilize it nearly in the extent that I would like to. Because I'd really like to kind of have a spot. I just need to clean my room. That's what it is. I need to make a place in my room that I can just have that. Even if I put it up, I need to have a section where I can just have that and just take a few minutes and collect things. Do a bit of personal Reiki would be awesome. So, that's a failing on my part, I suppose. I have a the Reiki Precepts altar, which you've seen in my altars and spaces video, is one where I try and do the gasho there every day. Doesn't always happen every day, just like doing readings doesn't always happen every day because life. That is a particular meditation because you are thinking over those particular precepts, which are just the Reiki principles. I'm not going to go into all of them. And then there is this, which is the verse Charge of the Goddess, and I try to say this each night before bed, just mentally. I started that when I was trying to memorize it for a particular ritual I was doing. The rhyme made it easier to memorize, and I don't think I've got it completely memorized now because I kind of took a break from trying to make sure that it was ingrained in my brain. So that, I think, also counts as a bit of a meditation, because you're thinking over the particular couplets in that. But I definitely don't do the sitting in the lotus position. First of all, I can't even sit the crisscross applesauce, never have been able to. My legs don't like it. My legs don't necessarily even like the way I'm sitting right now, because I've got my legs straight out. They do not like to do this. They like the knees bent a little bit. All the time. I've got them bent just slightly. It's like the tendons in the back of my knees are too tight or something. But it's never really affected much of anything. But I can't do that. It bothers me. Let alone getting one foot up in the full lotus or the half lotus or any of those things. Just, no, not going to happen. But you don't have to do that to meditate. That is only one style of meditation, and that can be, it can become a kind of a problematic thing, because people think that that's what meditation is. And it's not just that. It can be many, 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 many things. You can have meditation while you're running. You can have walking a labyrinth. I want to put a labyrinth somewhere on my property, because I love that. And I even have, I'm reading The Pagan Book of Living and Dying by Starhawk and the Reclaiming Collective. And she has a couple of labyrinth meditations that you can do in that book that focus more on the death, rebirth, transformation. But still, the UU Church it still has a labyrinth that is on their property, and I want to have one on mine. Because I think having a labyrinth would be fantastic. I think, yeah. And like anyone who does yoga correctly, because you can totally do, I read an article once where people were talking about the separation that has happened when yoga made it West, and how, people are using it just as a way to get in shape when it wasn't meant to be that way. But I think if you are doing it correctly, whether you see it as a meditative or spiritual process, it's gonna be that way, even if you rationalize it away. I think it's just the nature of the practice itself. I've not done a lot of yoga personally. It is something that I do like to do. It just hasn't quite made its way into the daily routine yet. So there is that. But I enjoy doing it when I do. So other than that, and I don't necessarily have any sort of time that I set aside just to meditate or any of that. Aside from some of the ones, like I said, I do dishes daily. I joke because I love, the fingerless gloves, but I can never wear them because I'm doing dishes too much. So to take them off, put them back on, take them off, put them back on. I have to be, out of the house and not doing dishes to be able to wear those. I have a couple of pairs that I've made, and I love them, but they're not conducive to my work. But yeah, that'll be it for this week, which is just the meditate and that type of practice. Which I do, just not in the manner that most people think of when they think of meditation, because I'm not sitting there sitting in a particular position, doing a mudra and those types of things. I do have, in my 3x5 card box, which combines household chores and spiritual stuff, because, I have assigned a chakra for each day of the week. And today is Friday, which would be sacral, I believe. Yeah. Friday's sacral, Saturday's heart. I had to remember which one was which, because I haven't actually looked into the box today. And the box is there, so I don't have to trust my memory. even though I have them memorized. I just have to think about it. It's much easier to put it on autopilot and not have to think about it. But I have in there, I have a card that has the chakra color and the actual, like, Sanskrit name for it. I think it's the Sanskrit name, which I haven't memorized those. It has some oils and fragrances that go along with each one. It has affirmations for that particular one. I got this idea from a book at one point in time, and it's just something I loved, to have one for each day, and then you focus kind of on that for the day. And it's kind of a play on some of the other organizational systems where they'll have like a date night, or a day when you would do the most cleaning, which would be, for me, it's more Tuesday. I'd love to have it be Monday, but Monday doesn't work. So Tuesdays, because my husband is home most Mondays, so I'm not actually thinking about doing the deep cleaning stuff, so I do it Tuesdays. Tuesdays is more of the, that's my root chakra day, and that's the day when I would focus on more of the physical activities. The deeper cleaning, house cleaning jobs, doing manual labor type of things, and exercise stuff changes from week to week, but there are little meditations and things I have that I printed out from a site that goes along with that, where it has each mudra and what sound you would make to go along, what note, that kind of stuff, and the mantra to go along with it. And again, like I said, it changes week to week, but some weeks I do it, some weeks I don't. So, but it's there if I decide to do it, which is a wonderful thing. It's a wonderful thing. So, maybe someday I might show that little box a little bit more in detail, just because I think it's a neat little system, even though it comes from something that was popular in the 80s. It works really well for me. So, that'll be it for this week. Till next week. Bye.